Hi guys, welcome to my session on AWS, and today we are going to see a couple of services or couple of features in EC2. One is to create our own AMI from already running EC2 instance, and the second part of our demo is on creating a static IP, which in AWS we say it as elastic IP. And this demo is exactly the continuation of whatever we have seen in the previous video. And people who have missed the previous session, I have already given the link in description. You can make use of it. Right, so let's get started. We are at the home page of AWS. So let me go to EC2 instance. Right, this is our dashboard. So as I said, you have to look at this dashboard before you sign up. So now you see that there is an instance running in our account and it has an associated volume. And what is this volume? This is an EBS volume which has already linked with the running EC2 instance. In our case, it should be an 8 GB volume. So we have already discussed on this in the previous video. So I'm just moving forward. Right, we have keypads and security groups. So just a recap on keypads. Keypads are for authentication and security groups or virtual firewalls. And we don't have any other thing running. Elastic IP 0, snapshot 0, load balances 0, placement group 0. So we are good with the rest of the stuff. Okay, let me get into the running instance. Click on the running instance. Okay, this is the instance running and we are good with this instance. We can check this instance. We know that this is a web server. So when I copy the public IP and post it in the browser, so it has to open my web page. And why public IP? We have already discussed on this. When you want to access an instance over internet, it's always public IP. When you want to access the instance in your own network, intranet, then it's always private IP. So in our case, we are going to access this over browser, which is internet. So I'm just copying the public IP, opening my browser, new tab, check it. Yeah, we are good with our EC2 instance. So this is perfectly working fine. Okay, anyway, this is our previous demo. And today what we are going to do is like, we are going to create an image of this instance. So how to create it? It is a very simple process to create an image, and it happens in just few clicks. You will be really surprised to know that. And the advantages of creating an image is enormous, so you will be seeing it only when you create an image and make use of it. Anyway, let's see what we are going to do now. Right click on the instance, go to actions, image, and just click on create image. Right, so in this page you have to give a name for your image and the description. So I can say that this is Amazon Linux AMI with Apache installed. Yeah, just a description. And this option, which is no reboot. So we'll see a bit of a theory here. So image is nothing but taking the exact copy of your instance. It is like taking a photograph. Whenever we want to take a photograph, we want the people in the photo to be in idle state, which means they shouldn't be doing any action, because we want a neat and clean photograph, so we don't want them to do any action there. Similarly, when you want to take an image of an instance, your instance shouldn't do any activities, or at least the state of the instance shouldn't be changed. There shouldn't be any files modified. All those things need to happen. So to avoid the inconsistent state of the files and other things in your instance, normally what AWS does is it will restart your instance, which means no one will be accessing that instance, and it will be easy for AWS to take the copy of your instance in the form of images. So it is an optional thing. By default there will be a restart. If you don't want a restart, you can select this option. In this case, I'm not enabling this. I'm okay with the restarting the instance, and I'm just going with the next step. Click on create image. That's it. The request has been initialized. So now where to check our image? For checking the image, go to images section, click on AMIs. You see a new image is getting created, and the visibility is private, which means only you can access this instance and no one else can see this. So this is very important because we can share our images as well to some other person. They can make use of these images. So that is one thing, and it is in pending state. Let's go and check in the dashboard. Right, you see here instance is running, volume is associated with it, key pair, security groups is fine, but there is one more thing called snapshots. We have number in snapshot. We have checked the dashboard before, and this time we see one in the snapshot. So let's go to the snapshot and check what happened there. Okay, you see, because of this image, there is a snapshot getting created in our account. And if you look at the timing, it is now May 17th, 8:04 p.m., which is exactly now a snapshot is getting created. We just created an image. We didn't ask for any snapshot. Then why it is getting created? And I will say you what is the reason behind it. An image is not a single component when you create an AMI. So you will be getting an entry in the AMI section, and in the snapshot section you will be getting corresponding entries for each and every EBS volumes attached with your instance. So in our case, there is an EC2 instance and one volume attached with this. Just let me click on this volume. You will see that 8 GB volume. See, there is an 8 GB volume. So for each and every volume, you will get a corresponding snapshot entry whenever you create an image. Suppose in this case, sorry, if you have another instance, excuse. So in this case, suppose you have one more EBS volume, which is a 5 GB. In that case, what happens is your snapshot will be there for that 5 GB as well. So you will get two entries. So just have it in mind. We are just creating an MI, but you will be getting snapshots corresponding to the EBS volumes. So that is one thing. Okay. So now your EMI is done. It is available. So let me go back to the instance. I don't want this instance anymore. Let me terminate this. Let it go down. Let me wait for a few seconds. And one more thing to check in the AMI section is go to AMIs. If you go down, you will see the associated snapshot entry here, which makes sure that this AMI is linked with the snapshot, whatever we have seen already. So to confirm it, see the snapshot ID is ending with E17C. So go to snapshot section. See, you will see the same snapshot E17C. So this makes sure that this AMI is linked with this snapshot. So that is one thing. Let me go back to instances. Okay, the instance is terminated. Let's confirm that in the EC2 dashboard. Okay, everything is fine except snapshots, nothing is there. Okay, let me go back to launching an instance. Click on launch instance. This time I'm not going to select the AMIs from AWS. I'm going to click on my AMIs. See the AMI, whatever we have created, it is here web server AMI, and this is the description. This is Amazon Linux AMI with Apache installed. Select this AMI, select your instance type. So rest of the steps are exactly same like whatever we did for EC2 launch. So I'm just following the same thing. It's just like a recap. Click on instance, configure instance details, and for a change, let me select an availability zone so that we can confirm our instance is getting launched in that particular availability zone. Add storage, add tags, let me name it EC2 from AMI. Configure security group. So I'm just reusing the security group. As I said, security groups and key pairs can be reused. Review and launch it. While launching it, you need to give the key pair because AWS works on key pair concept. Launch your instance. Okay, we are good. So let's go and see the instances. Our instance is coming up. Select your instance. You see this instance has been launched in availability zone A. Whatever we have requested. T2 micro, everything is fine. So you will see your AMI ID as well. Let's go down somewhere. AMI ID. So it has used our web server AMI ID. So we are good with that as well. Let me refresh it, but we are not at the end of our demo. We need to confirm this should be a web server. To confirm it, and we have launched it using our AMI, so everything should be there, like our Apache, the index.html files, starting the Apache, everything should be copied exactly from our previous instance. So I'm just copying the public IP here, putting it in your browser and refresh it. Perfect. So we got our results as expected. So it is like within no time you took an exact copy of your instance and used that copy to launch a new instance. And it didn't even take us more than 5 to 10 minutes to do the entire thing. In fact, if you are doing it alone, it will make just 2 to 3 minutes of your entire time. So this is what happens in cloud. This is the power of cloud. So you can do all these things in matter of seconds in cloud. Okay, so we are good with our demo. So I'm closing with this. And the next thing what we are going to do is like we are going to see the access permissions. Let me go to AMI. So I said this visibility is private. So let me go to actions and modify image permissions. Click on that. When you do this, you can make this public, which means all the AWS account holders can make use of your AMI. They can access your AMI, they can create their web server, they can modify certain things, but they can't tamper with your AMI. But they can use your AMI, launch a new instance. In the new instance, they can do whatever they want. So they can do it. Or if you need something like only to specified users, certain authenticated users need to access your AMIs, then provide their 12-digit account number here and add permission to that account, which means it is not available to public. Only authenticated users whose account number you are giving here, they can access it. That's it. So we are good at our demo, and once when you know how to create something, you should also know how to destroy something as well, because we need to know, in this case we have created an image, so we need to know how to delete that image as well. So that is a bit of extra effort which you need to take in deleting an AMI, and there is a certain steps you need to follow as well to delete your AMI. So what is that? So if I just go to my snapshot, click on the snapshot, go to actions, delete your snapshot. When you try to do this, you will be getting an error because this snapshot has been linked with your AMI. So you won't be able to delete your snapshot first. What you need to do is like cancel this, go to AMI section, click on your AMI, go to actions, deregister your AMI first. This is your first step. You have to deregister your AMI. Now your AMI is gone. Now go to snapshots, click on your snapshot, delete your snapshot. That's it. So we are good with our AMI image. And what about the charges for your images? See, your charges are only for the snapshot 8 GB, and you will not be charged for the image. It's only the charge for the snapshot. So in free tier, I believe you have around 30 GB of snapshot which can be stored. But anyway, we haven't used anything like 30 GB. So we created only 8 GB, and very well we deleted it after our demo. So you won't be charged if you're following this. So that is one more thing which I want to say you people. Right, let me go to the dashboard again. So now once one instance is running and it has one volume, let's look at the static IP concept. So I'm clicking on the running instances. Click on the instance. Okay, let me change the name. Static IP demo, just for our reference. Okay, so let it be running. I'm just copying the public IP, opening a notepad, paste the public IP, and similarly I'm copying the private IP as well, pasting the private IP. Right, and just look at here, there is no elastic IP associated with your instance. So in this case, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to actions, instance state, stop the instance. Yes. Refresh it. The instance is getting stopped. It will take a bit of time to stop your instance. Let's wait for a few more seconds till it gets stopped. Yeah, we are done. So it got stopped, and see what happens here. You lost your public DNS, you lost your public IP, but you still have your private IP intact. I'm just copying the private IP, pasting it. So there is no change in the private IP, but the problem is we lost the public IP. We won't be able to access our servers. Anyway, I'm just restarting my instance. Start it again. See what happens. Okay, once the instance got restarted, see we are getting our public IP back. How it was showing. Okay, let's wait for a few seconds. Yeah, we got our public IP back. See here, it's 3.93.42.113. Let me copy this, paste it, which is entirely different from our previous public IP, and private IP is same like before. Okay, let's see what happens here. There is a change in your public IP, whereas there is no change in your private IP. And moreover, you didn't lose your private IP whatsoever, whatever happens to your instance. But we lost our public IP when our system was in stop state. Okay, let's check whether our public IP is working. So this is our private IP. So let me copy the public one, paste it here. Yes, the public IP is working. The new one is working. What about the old one? Let me try that as well. This shouldn't work. Obviously, this will not work as well because this has been decommissioned from our instance. Yeah, this is not working as expected. So what happens to our previous IP? So we lost the previous IP and a new IP got assigned. And remember, this is not the expected state when we are having our web server in production, which means our public IP will be linked with their domain. In our case, it is like I can link this IP with my own domain name like gautam.com. So each and every time, instead of giving the public IP, I can give gautam.com, which will be accessing the server and will be getting the web page. That's what exactly happens. But when the IP gets changed often, each and every time you start and stop your instance, the linkage with your domain cannot be changed each and every time. So that is something bad. What you have to do is like this IP should be static and there shouldn't be any change how many times you start and stop your instance. That's what the requirement is. Okay, how to get that? That is nothing but getting a static IP. So in AWS, we don't say it as static IP, we say it as elastic IP. Okay, how to get your elastic IP? That's what we are going to see now. Just go down. At the moment, we don't have any elastic IPs for this instance. I'm just clicking on elastic IP. Click on allocate new address. So we are picking something from the Amazon pool. You can have set of IPs in your own account and you use that in the based on the availability basis. But we always go with the Amazon pool since we are in the free tier account. Click on allocate. Yeah, now we got an IP. Refresh it. Yeah. So we got an IP, but it has not linked with any instance. The next step, what you have to do is click on actions, click on associate address. Right, you have two options here. One is linking with your instance, second is linking with your network interface. So we will see this option when we see ENI after our VPC demo. So we will see that time how to link an Elastic API with your network interface. But time being, we will be clicking on the instance because we are going to connect with our instance. So select your instance. So it is automatically showing static IP demo instance. Click on that, and you will see your private IP of that instance. Just click on that. Right. So there is one more step, reassociation. So it is something like if your Elastic API is already attached to a running instance, then you can forcefully detach it and attach to this new instance. That can also be done. So for forcefully detaching and attaching to a new instance, you have to enable this. In our case, our Elastic API is idle, which has not been associated with any EC2 instance. So we don't want to enable this option. So click on associate, close it. Right, we are good. It has been associated with the instance. So this is our instance ID. Let's go and confirm it in our instance tab. Right, click on Elastic IP. See here, we got our Elastic IP, and moreover, look at the public IP. What happened here? Click on the public IP. We got the public IP, and there is no private IP. There is no change in the private IP. So we are good. See that public IP, your previous public IP got replaced with the Elastic IP 54.156.211.6. So this is what happens. There is an override. So your public IP will be replaced by your Elastic IP, which we say it as static IP. So this happens when you link your Elastic IP with your EC2 instance. Right. Let's check it. Let me stop the instance and check what happens to our public IP. We shouldn't be losing it. There shouldn't be any change. So let's see what happens. Let me close other tabs. Yeah, it got stopped, and see what happens. We didn't lose our public IP. We didn't lose our private IP. We didn't lose the Elastic IP as well. In fact, Elastic IP and public IP are same. Okay, let me restart it. Start it again. Click on that. Let me check it again. Let's wait for the instance state to change to running because it is coming up. Right, it is running. Click on the public IP, go to the browser. Let's check what happens here. This site can't be reached. Let's wait for a few seconds. Yeah, we got our session back. So this is our web page and there is no problem whatsoever. We didn't lose the Elastic API. Let me copy this. There is no change in the Elastic API. There is no change in the private IP. Cool. So this is what our expectation is. So we have achieved two things today. One is creating our image. From the image, we launched a new EC2 instance and made sure that our web page is coming up. Second thing is the problem with our dynamic IP. Our public IP is getting changed each and every time when we stop and start the instance. To avoid that, we created an Elastic IP which is said to be a static IP, and after creating, we attached it with our running instance. Once we attached it, there is no change in the Elastic IP irrespective of how many times you start and stop your instance. That's what we have done. Fine. So there are few more things which I want to add you people regarding the Elastic IP. The thing is like Elastic IP is free if you are attaching it to a running instance, and you have a restriction of how you can have only 5 Elastic IPs per region per account. Suppose in this case for North Virginia and my account is new to AWS, I can have only 5 Elastic IPs in my account for North Virginia. Suppose you take Singapore, I can have 5 Elastic IPs in Singapore account. So that is the case. Okay, and second is the charge. If you are attached it to a running instance, then your Elastic IP is free. If you are not attaching to a running instance, then you will be charged. What is the case like not attaching to a running instance? Suppose if I stop this instance, it means the Elastic API has been attached to a stopped instance. It is not running. In that case, my Elastic API will be charged. So that is the scenario. Just have it in mind. You have to use it effectively. So go to the dashboard. Even Elastic API is listed here. So the thumb rule is each and every time when you sign out, you have to click on this dashboard and check you don't have numbers in keypads and security groups. Means except keypads and security group, you shouldn't have numbers in any of the sections, right? So now we are done with our Elastic API. The last thing what we need to do is like we can terminate our instance. When we terminate our instance, click on instances, click on static IP demo, go to actions. You know how to terminate it. Click on terminate. So while terminating, we should be very careful because we are terminating the instance. So once the instance got terminated, the Elastic IP will become idle, which makes us getting charged for the Elastic IP. So there will be a link to release your Elastic IPs. So I'm just saying this again. Initially it will be hidden. So you have to click here. You have to release your Elastic IP and then terminate your instance. This is very much important because many people will terminate the instance and keep the Elastic API idle. For that, each and every hour you will be getting charged. And if I'm not wrong, the charge is $0.005 per hour. That is the charge for the Elastic API. So make sure when you terminate your instance, you release your Elastic API. Even if you forget to release your Elastic API, it will be showing in your dashboard. So click on your Elastic APIs. It will be listed here. Select your Elastic API, go to actions and release your address. So that's what you have to do. So we have done with our demo, both the demos, creating an image and creating an Elastic API. So in the next session, we'll be seeing on how to launch a Windows instance. And after that, we'll be going with our EBS volumes and all those things coming up. And guys, if you have missed the previous session, I've already provided the link for the previous session in the description box, so you can make use of it. So that's it for the day. So if you have any questions, post it in the comments. So it is like and if you need anything specific to AWS, any service specific to AWS, I'm ready to take it up in the priority basis. So I'm just welcoming all your comments. So